All right, ladies and gentlemen, mi amiga Leila Cobo, que por supuesto es la vicepresidenta de música latina en Billboard y una autoridad en temas de música latina porque conoce a todos nuestros artistas, siempre apoyando la música latina, tiene un nuevo libro que se llama La Fórmula Despacito. Leila, did you have to? Thank you for the book. I have it here.
I'm so happy. I have to sign it when I see you in person.
Please. Now, I want to know, did you have to talk to Luis Fonsi in order for him to give the blessing for you to use the name or no?
I didn't talk to Luis Fonsi to get the blessing for the name, but I did tell him when I did my interview with him, one of 20 interviews I've done with him about this song. And I said, Luis, the book is going to be called Decoding Despacito. I have to tell you that. And so he was thrilled. And I think it's a big, it's a big hats off to Luis and his song, which was so groundbreaking. So I think he was happy.
Would you consider Despacito obviously was groundbreaking and made, it's been heard worldwide and sung in so many different languages and really, hi mom, say hi to Leila. It's okay.
Hi, Mom.
This is COVID times. This happens.
Aquí pasa todo.
Te pasa todo. Despacito was definitely changing, ground changing for the music industry, for our music.
It was definitely groundbreaking for our music. El libro, what the book does is that it looks back. It went back 50 years. It didn't go more than 50 years or else I would never finish this book, right? Because there's so many great songs. And I look for songs it begins with Feliz Navidad. And then I look for songs that had really broken ground, Enrique, not just been big hits, but just transformed culture and moved Latin culture forward and kind of done something for music. But the genesis of the book was Despacito. That's the truth, because that's when the publisher was interested in doing a book on Latin music history, was because of Despacito, and it was so successful. So Despacito was in a way ground zero. There's other songs, obviously, like Living La Vida Loca, Ricky's song from 1999, which at its time was, I would say it was the Despacito of its time, or maybe Despacito is the Living La Vida Loca of its time. But it's all these songs that have been really big milestones, and Despacito, I think, was the gateway to the new Latin explosion and our current kind of boom that we're living.
Would you consider it a boom? I think it's more than a trend or a fad. I mean, right? It's much more than that, because you have now, for the first time ever in my career, and I think for yours too, I think you're feeling it and you're seeing it, obviously, that so many of our artists, it's not the typical, what we used to say before, the crossover, right? You want a Latino artist to collab with an Anglo artist so that they can have the credibility and they step into the other market. Now it's the other way around. You got English speaking artists that want to record with our artists, and you have, like on our radio stations at iHeart, so many of our CHR radio stations with a full English delivery playing full Spanish songs. And it's not like just a couple songs. So it's not a novelty thing. This is the new norm.
It's a wonderful thing, and you more than anyone know this because you're in radio. You have really seen the evolution. I think we are at a turning point in the sense that, yes, it's a Latin explosion and it's a Latin boom and all of that, but I think this time it's here to stay. And streaming has allowed that because people can access the music anywhere. And so for the first time, we're able to see globally how people are consuming Latin music. And this has really changed the mental paradigm. People used to think, oh, it's a trend, it's a spike, I'm going to do something bilingual. But now they realize that there's a global audience that wants this music, even if they don't speak Spanish. And I think that's really key. I'm not saying that Spanish is going to be the new English, but definitely you have a whole bunch of people that are very open to hearing music in Spanish. And this is not going to go anywhere.
And don't fear it, because it's only great music, beautiful people, and of course we make it dance. So that's a good thing.
Enrique, I always say that it's I know for some people it's unknown, but yeah, no, I mean, all we want to do is share the music with the world. Really, that's what we want. That's what we want to achieve. In the same way that so many of us all over Latin America, I'm Colombian, I grew up listening to American and British rock and roll. Like, music is music. We love to hear the music we love, regardless of where it's from.
And good music is good music, regardless of language. It has no no barriers, right?
It really doesn't.
In
It
your
really
book,
doesn't.
La Fórmula de Despacito, it's like, almost like an encyclopedia, right? Of our most popular songs. I like it because you break it down. For example, I just opened up here the page. I'm not sure what page this is. Page 77, I would assume. Es El Gran Varón.
El Gran Varón. So like what I did for each chapter, and I think what makes the book special is that each chapter, I start by explaining why the song is important, why it's in the book, and then I put cast of characters is what I put at the beginning of the players is what I put at the beginning of each chapter. And the players behind each song tell the story. So in El Gran Varón, I have Omar Alfano, who wrote the song, and it's their words, Enrique. It's not me narrating the story. It's them telling the story. So Omar talks about how he wrote the song, then how he took it to Willie in Mexico backstage at a concert. Willie talks about how he first heard the song, like this guy came up, he never met him. He opened some show for him, how he thought, there's something there. Then I speak with Willie's arranger. And so it's all the people that were involved in the making of the song, but it's their story. It's their story. And each chapter switches voices until we have the full story at the end.
I think it's genius because you also open up and you're explaining to people what the actual song meant. How many times have we sing a song, we don't pay attention so much to the words, or we think we know what the song is really about. But here you break it down, like you said, not just the composer and the arranger and the singers and their take on it and how they ended up collabing together and bring this awesome, how they made those hits, but also the story behind the song and what are they trying to portray, or the story that they were trying to sing about. So I think it's fantastic, great idea. It was long overdue, this book.
Thank you. Thank you.
La Fórmula Despacito is on sale now. And you have the history behind all of our great hits, from Gloria Estefan's Miami Sound Machine to Willie Colon's El Gran Varón that we just talked about, Selena.
It's also in English. In English, it's called Decoding Despacito.
Excellent. So you have Español is La Fórmula Despacito, in English, Decoding
Decoding Despacito, and you can get it in audiobook. And I never narrated it in both languages. So if you can put up with my voice, unfortunately, I don't have Luis reciting his chapter, but
you're so funny.
But you can hear it while you drive.
Thank you for everything you do for our industry and our music y nuestra gente. Leila, Cobo, muchas gracias.
Gracias a ti, Enrique.
Besitos.